Has someone said to you, "Whew, you really should work on your personal brand"? Does it irritate you because you can't really work out what is the benefit of doing? What are the reasons for actually putting aside time to work on your personal brand strategy? I give you 5 of those reasons today, and one of them is really, really important, and it's going to help you to almost reduce the stress or potentially professional anxiety you get in trying to explain what it is that you do for people and how you know contextually you're the one that they need to choose. Stay tuned.
You're listening to The Brand Compass, conversations to navigate your way to building a brand fit for purpose and poised for success. Here's your host, Shelley Rostlund.
Hello there, my friend. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you know that this is the place where we gently and openly talk about all the ways in which your personal brand meets the humans you serve. This episode is a little bit different, and while it's still about personal brand, I wanted to frame some of the important benefits of developing your personal brand so that maybe you hear them a little differently than you have in the past. I'm busy wrapping up 2 programs with 2 very different clients right now. And as all my work does, it really hits me quite different on every level, depending on who I've worked with. Now, they're both highly proficient professionals in their fields, working for somebody else and not actually for themselves. They've invested in this work for themselves, but for very different reasons. Now, when I asked them about their objectives, because I always want to make sure that we reach them by the end of the work that we do together, when I asked them what is their objectives for actually doing the work, it really warmed me up in ways that I hadn't really even thought of. And usually, the benefits of personal brand work are described in terms that marketeers and salespeople have just churned out over the years, and we've got sucked in and accepted. But, my friend, what I have learned is that there is nuance in motivation. And there are some deep-rooted human instincts that come out to play when deciding on investing time and energy in doing this work. Now, I have written a blog post that fully fleshes out 10 reasons I see for doing this work off the back of doing it day in and day out with real people like you and me, who are out there in the world trying to just forge a way to be chosen as the one to work with and being happy with the person we get to be while we're doing it. So today I thought what I'd do is I'd pick 5 of those reasons and walk through with you today, but perhaps they'll answer a question that you didn't even know that you had, or maybe today's the day that something will hit you differently and motivate you to now pay attention. Then what I'm going to do is at the end, I'll wrap up why I think that there is an urgency for working professionals to actually do this work on developing their personal brand in a way that's comfortable and feels good for them. All right, should we get going? Let's start with the first benefit or reason that I see for doing this personal brand work. Number 1, giving your expertise, positioning, and context. You'll relate to this if your work or the work that you do is quite tricky, or the talents that you have are an unusual mix of things. Doing this work helps people to clearly understand what it is that you do in a jargon-free way. It's hard to do this for yourself, right? It will noticeably demonstrate how you are different, or at the very least, how you are comparable to others that do the work that you do. So why is this good? Because this actually helps you to get picked or chosen and can also support your career progression. So you'll be able to wholeheartedly go for that promotion or career move that you might be thinking of. All right, second reason or benefit, you'll be able to properly evaluate opportunities. Now, what do I mean by this? So quite simply, after you've done this work, you are a lot clearer about why you are here today doing the work that you're doing. And the way I like to work is to make sure that any work that you're doing today will benefit and push you closer to what it is that you want in the future. This means that quite naturally you will have had the time to sit and think about what do you actually want for the future and really understand what lights you up at the same time. So this makes it easier for you to say yes or no to things with conviction. No more distracting rabbit holes. Does that sound like you? Third reason. Oh, this is a biggie. Reduces stress, uncertainty, and professional anxiety. Now, the beauty of this work is that you really get close again to what your driving values are and the principles that sit at the heart of how you approach things, as well as the strengths that underpin why you are good at what you do. Now, this helps to give you a clear indication of where you have maybe been in the wrong situations, possibly trying to solve the wrong problems for the wrong people. Our stress and anxiety comes from doing work that is in contradiction to our values and our principles. So personal brand work gives you the impetus to get back to you and what you do best and how it makes you feel. The big one, right? Was that you? Fourth reason. Calibrates how you affect people. Now, you certainly find out who's done their work on personal branding and who doesn't when you come to this little reason. Now, part of personal brand work focuses on how you are aligning, how you want people to perceive you and experience you, and then comparing that with what the reality is. So if there is a gap or a disjoint, you become aware of it and you can recalibrate and adjust accordingly. How people experience you will heavily influence whether they choose to listen to you, or even better, get to want to choose to work with you or alongside you. Does that sound like you? Is that something you'd love to do? Fifth reason, or final benefit that I'm going to talk about in this episode, is about personal guardrails. Personal branding helps you to put these personal guardrails in place. In order to connect deeply with our ideal people, we know that it's important to share our own personal story and journey, right? It's also important to clearly decide what is up for public consumption and what isn't. In the personal brand work I do with clients, we focus on pulling out your backstory or your origin story, but then what we also do is we just carefully choose which are the topics that you are happy and can easily share to connect with people, and then which elements or topics or areas that you consider dear and you want to keep out of the spotlight. With AI content polluting news feeds, the more you can share your personal stories comfortably, the more you'll be able to gain the trust of your audiences. So do not avoid personal sharing completely just to guard a few select areas in your life. So that's 5 for you to chew on right now. Okay, should we do a quick recap on what that was? So number 1 was giving your expertise, positioning, and context. Number 2, you'll be able to properly evaluate opportunities. So you get to say yes or no to things with conviction. Reducing stress, uncertainty, or even professional anxiety. Number 4, calibrates how you affect people. And lastly, number 5, putting personal guardrails in place. So I've got another 5, like I said, that I share in my blog post, that I'll pop the link into the show notes for you if you want to go ahead and go and read the rest of those. Did any of those stand out for you, or was there more than one that you thought, never thought about it in that way, Shelley? They hit a bit differently, don't they? Because we're not just talking about visibility and marketing aspects, right? They actually point to things that affect how we are moving through our work worlds as a true comfortable version of ourselves. We're also very different. How or why we want to actually calibrate ourselves and learn to communicate ourselves and what we want better changes from person to person. But after all that is said and done, and through the work that I've seen with the clients that I've worked with, I can confidently say that understanding comes from clarity. Trust comes through consistency and demonstrated competency. Decisions come from aligned values and strong viewpoints. Resonance comes from sharing genuine stories and the vulnerability of your own human lived experience. I promise that personal brand strategy, it's not a vanity project. It's an existential project, one where you plan how you are going to overcome the bottom of the employment market disappearing in the next 5 years and your work landscape significantly shifting or fundamentally changing. For you to be able to win at providing a clear message, building trust, encouraging a decision from someone to choose you, and for your ideal people to hear something that actually connects with them, you need to work on and develop your personal brand strategy. If you'd like someone to safely and confidently walk with you on this development path, and you'd love to know what's actually involved in doing a personal brand strategy program with me, do get in touch. Let's have a conversation. I'll pop all my contact details in the show notes, but you can always find me on LinkedIn or on Instagram as Shelley Rostlund, and I am the only one out there. So who do you know that could do with listening to these 5 benefits or reasons for developing your personal brand? Perhaps they want to do the program with you. Go on, share this episode with someone that you feel could hear this today. Until next time, my friend, stay strong, believe you have value, and make good brand decisions.
Thank you for listening to The Brand Compass. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with your entrepreneurial friends and help them make good brand decisions. Until next time, let's keep the conversation going at 𝗙𝗪𝗧𝗦𝗔.com.